Hi, Jody Hardesty with Empowered Heart Connections. Many people struggle with letting someone know how they feel loved. And learning to communicate this in a clear and direct way can be really, really helpful. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, well, if I have to tell him or if I have to tell her, then it doesn't count. Well, how else would they know? Most people aren't psychic, so we all need a little help. And especially when we're new to a relationship, we need a lot of help. We need to know what feels good to the other person. We need to know what they like, what they don't like. We need to know what way we can show them love. So are they a type of person who really appreciates those gifts, those meaningful, thoughtful gifts that, you remember what the person said they liked 6 months ago and you hold that in your mind or you write it down somewhere and then 6 months later you surprise them with this magnificent gift that you remembered. My brain doesn't work that way, so I'm not great at gift giving like that. My language is more around telling me that someone appreciates me or spending quality time with me. So I have had to learn how to communicate that with my husband. And my husband is really fabulous at gift giving, which is awesome, but I'm not really all of that much of a gift receiver. It doesn't mean as much to me as spending time with me. So my husband and I have had to kind of sort that out, and every couple does, whether it's how you show your love or how you share that you're upset. These things are really important to be able to be clear about what your needs are, what your expectations are, and how you feel valued and loved and appreciated. These are all tools that can help make a relationship grow or fizzle out. But most of it is about being really clear about what your expectations are about what you want, about what your hopes are. And don't expect people to read your mind. And this goes for, especially, I know sometimes people are really frustrated, like, well, my partner or the person I'm dating says, have a good day in the morning, and that's really annoying. I don't like that. I want them to say something different. That sounds trite. But they don't know that, so they really need that information about what that looks like for you. And one way to do this is to model for them, as you can model for them what your kind of communication would like. Like maybe you're thinking, hey, I remembered that you were having a tough time with your boss, and I'm hoping that goes well today. And maybe you're looking for something more specific or more detailed that you're trying to get from your partner, but not assuming that they know that saying have a great day in the morning is driving you bonkers, because they usually don't. Usually people are trying to accommodate the other person in a relationship. So if they're not doing something that's working for you, or if they're really irritating you and you're not telling them, they're probably not going to know. So some other ways you can be clear about what you want and what you need is making sure that if they are doing something that's bothering you, to call them out on that in a loving way, right? When we talked about I statements, is to really acknowledge that, hey, I appreciate you saying, have a good day in the morning, but to me, it would be more meaningful if we could have kind of a more meaningful conversation after I have my coffee, or however that works for you, after you have your bagel, or whatever it is. But being really explicit about what that looks like. Many people don't know, even if you say to them, hey, I really like it when people give me compliments. That makes me feel good. Well, what does that look like? Is that you're so pretty? Because a lot of people don't find that very valuable. Or are you looking for compliments that are about who you are and what's important to you, rather than maybe a physical attribute? So these are all characteristics that need to be expressed. And the other part, especially if you are looking for a particular method of communication or a method of showing love that the other person isn't great at, to give people a break with that and recognize that people probably aren't going to be able to change a whole lot. I'm slightly better at getting gifts over the years because my husband has modeled for me really well what he does, but it still just doesn't come naturally to me. I would much rather give someone a compliment or make them feel loved in a different way. And my husband has been open to that for me, and many couples can be open to that. I think it's important that we don't get stuck rigidly into, well, this is the only way someone can show me they love me, or they don't love me. That makes us stuck. So making sure that no matter what your perspective is about how someone can show you they love you, that you're open and flexible and able to kind of explore other possibilities in other ways. And also to recognize the ways in which your partner already does show you they care about you. Or if you're newly dating, that might be kind of an exploration process, but really discovering what it is that they do that kind of draws you to them to begin with. For me, I think I've probably mentioned this before, is my husband really valued what I had to say. He really respected what I said, and he would ask for my opinion and my perspective, and really appreciated what I had to say. So even though the method of showing my love might be different, that to me was really powerful. So I've acknowledge that for him, and acknowledge that his respect for me, his appreciation for me, is something that's really meaningful for me and continues to show me that he loves me. And it may be different, obviously, for your scenario. Everyone's situation is different, and every person has their strengths and their weaknesses. So it's important to recognize those strengths that your partner has that has drawn you to them to begin with. And sometimes it takes going back to the very beginning of your relationship, thinking, why do I like you? Because sometimes we get to a rough place in relationships, and we need a little reminder like, oh, wait a minute, we've got all of these compatible qualities that we have together, and that is reminiscent of our love, our connection, and those are valuable qualities. Or it might be a point in your relationship where you're recognizing that maybe you haven't really had those loving connections. Maybe those qualities aren't necessarily the qualities that you're continuing to look for. And that's sometimes an alternative too, is recognizing whenever a relationship has run its course, and perhaps you're just not able to show each other love in the way that both of you need. So really doing the work to explore what those ways are we can communicate our love and connection to our partners, but also being open to the possibility that it may just be that you guys aren't a compatible match. And this is particularly important when you are in the beginning stages of your relationship. I've found a lot of people settle for kind of the first person who comes along, or the first person who's slightly interesting, and then they end up wasting their time in a long drawn out relationship where they really weren't compatible to begin with. So making sure that you are clear with what you want, what you need. Don't expect people to read your mind. It's impossible. I mean, there may be a few out there, I don't know, but when it comes to relationships, people need to know what you need from them. So if you want someone to give you more physical affection and you're just not having enough physical affection, it's okay to say, hey, I really would like it if we could hold hands more. I'd really like it if you would rub my back sometimes, or if I could rub your back sometimes. Or if you're needing those words of kindness, words of connection, hey, can you tell me what ways that you appreciate me, or what it is that you like about me? I really need some reassurance. Or whatever the situation is even if it's something like insecurity, is how do I get some validation that I am okay? And that's not obviously required for forever, right? You don't have to have someone to externally validate you forever with everything, but there are moments in time when we all get insecure and we all need that validation. So to really allow yourself to explore what that looks like for you and your relationship, and make sure that you're asking for what you need in a way that you can be heard. And don't wait to the point where you're getting so frustrated that it comes out sideways in a little maybe passive-aggressive way. Thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you continue to learn how people can show you that they love you and how you show others that you love them. in a clear and understandable way. Thank you.